Clash Royale was never the same after Evolutions dropped. Over the past 2.5 years, we've seen many different evolutions, from something simple like a second goblin barrel to something crazy like flying pigs. As of November 2025, Clash Royale has made 39 different evolutions, and each feels quite unique. But not all of them feel like the card they evolved from. Some are perfect, others feel like a different card. So today, we're diving in to answer one question. Do Clash Royale Evolutions actually fit their card? When Evolutions first launched, it felt amazing. A new way to play the same old cards. Barbarians being able to get raged was fun, but my favorite was the Royal Giant being able to blast enemies away using the recoil from his cannon. Pause. But as more evolutions get rolled out, some felt a little off. Were these evolutions actually upgrades or an identity crisis? Let's break them all down, not by strength, but how well they fit. I've grouped every evolution into one of 4 categories, and first up, the ones that didn't just upgrade the card, they nailed it. These are the... Let's start with the Electro Dragon. Same role, same playstyle, but now its Chain Lightning can hit an infinite amount of targets. It's not a gimmick, it's just a powered up Electro Dragon. Clean, simple, and extremely satisfying. Another Evo that does this well is the Dart Goblin. He already was a menace to deal with, and now he shoots poison darts that leave the enemy in a continuous state of taking damage. Evo Dart Goggins doesn't play any differently. It does, however, amplify what was already there. Another Evo that nails it is Inferno Dragon. Not only does he look like an absolute menace in his Evo form, but the design actually makes sense. The tank on his back now charges up, letting him unload damage way quicker. It's basically a preloaded beam, which fits perfectly because his normal attack is all about building up power and melting cards. The evolution doesn't change his role, it amplifies it, and that's why it works. Finally, we've got the Battle Ram. This one just clicks. The evolution lets it smash into a tower and survive, which makes sense. I mean, real life battering rams don't just break after one hit. They're built to hit hard and keep going. This evolution follows the same principle. It bounces off the tower and charges on, and it spawns evolved barbarians, which just makes it that much better. If you're going to evolve the card, it only makes sense to evolve every part of it. The last group showed how evolutions can complete a card's story, but not every story ends that cleanly. Some evolutions go off script. Alright, now we get into evolutions that are fun, but make you question a little if they actually fit. The first on this list is the Cannon. This evolution lets you fire a whole barrage of extra shots when it spawns. And yeah, it's extremely satisfying, but does it actually make sense? No. The Evo shots are splash damage and they come from nowhere. Like, did Clash Royale hide cannons in the crowd? It's a really cool idea, but in terms of fitting the original card, not exactly a perfect match. Next is the Ice Spirit. This evolution freezes like normal and then casts a delayed freeze that triggers again a few seconds later. Visually, awesome. Mechanically, extremely fun. The problem is, how does it freeze if it's already dead? Who gave this tiny blue guy post-mortem powers? It still feels like the Ice Spirit theme, just not Ice Spirit logically. And then we have the Executioner. His evolution knocks enemies back every single time he swings his axe, which is actually pretty cool, and it makes sense. He's chucking a giant axe at full speed. But here's the weird part. If the axe blasts enemy backwards on the way out, why doesn't it yank them forward on the way back? If it's got enough force to come back to the Executioner, how does it not pull the enemies too? This logic kind of falls apart, so while it's flashy, it's not the cleanest fit for the card. Now, those evolutions were cool, even if they didn't quite match the original card, but this next group doesn't just bend the rules, it breaks the whole card. These are the... Alright, now we're entering evolutions where I genuinely don't know what Supercell was thinking. These don't just stretch the card, they replace it. The evolution feels like a different card. First up, we have the Lumberjack, and I need someone to explain this one to me. When he dies, he turns into a ghost lumberjack that can't be attacked and just keeps swinging for free as long as his rage spell lasts. The entire point of Lumberjack is he dies to make other troops stronger. Balloon, hog, whatever. He's a support card, not a win condition. So why does his evolution allow him to deal free damage after death? Cool animation, sure, but it feels like a completely different troop. Next up is the Goblin Barrel, and this one is just confusing. The evolution throws a second barrel, except it's a fake one that looks nothing like the original, and that kind of defeats the entire purpose of bait. A good Goblin Barrel tricks your opponent, that's the whole point, but this fake barrel is so obviously different that nobody falls for it. Plus, who's launching Goblin Barrels at both towers? You almost never split pressure with this card. Finally, we have the Bats. And their evolution is one of the strangest in the game. Every time they attack, they overheal. Since when do bats gain bonus health? They're tiny flying creatures that die to a stiff breeze. That's literally the whole point. When the witch overheals in her Evo, it makes sense since she's a sorcerer who spawns skeletons and uses them to gain health herself. That makes sense, but bats? Really? Cool mechanic, just completely the wrong troop. These evolutions aren't bad, they just don't fit their card. But now we're switching gears. These ones aren't just strong or flashy, they're smart. They're These evolutions may not be a perfect fit, but each hides clever creative twists within them, and honestly, they're too interesting not to have their own category. First up is the giant snowball. This one is basically a visual pun and a good one. The evolution makes it roll in a straight line, scooping up everything in its path and pushing it back. It's literally the snowball effect in gameplay form. Simple, smart, surprisingly satisfying. Next we have the royal hogs evolution. The hogs can fly. Like, they actually lift off the ground and glide towards the tower. It's clearly a joke on the phrase when pigs fly. Minecraft did a similar thing years ago. It definitely changes how the card plays, sure, since the typical can be countered by ground troops, but it's a hidden joke and it's genius. Finally, we have the skeleton army. Their evolution adds a skeleton general who's a big leader who can keep other skeletons alive as long as he's still standing. The joke is the fact that skeletons are already dead, so the idea that they can't be re-killed as long as the general commands them actually fits perfectly with the whole undead concept. It's silly, but I like it. These evolutions might not match the card's playstyle, but the hidden meaning behind them makes them some of the most creative designs in the entire game. Now that we've looked over all the groups of the evolution, it's time that I gave you my... Alright, now we've seen the evolutions that fit perfectly, the ones that were cool but a little off, the evolutions that completely missed the mark, and the ones with a clever hidden meaning beneath the surface. So do Clash Royale evolutions actually fit their card? Well, honestly, some absolutely do, and some completely failed. Evolutions are at their best when they amplify what the card already is, not overwrite it. When an evolution feels like the final form of a troop you've been using for years, that's when you know Supercell did it right. And if I had to rank them all, here's where every evolution lands. But here's the thing about evolutions. They don't just change gameplay, they change the story. Sometimes that story becomes clearer, sometimes it becomes stranger. But in a way, the unpredictability is what keeps Clash Royale alive. Every evolution is a chance to discover a new version of a card that you thought you already understood. Now I want to hear from you guys. Which evolution nailed its concept and which ones completely lost it? Let me know in the comments down below. I always read through all of them. Until then, I'll see you next time.